Welcome to our channel, Mootechie. We'll be exploring the microscopic world of biology together, a fascinating journey into the building blocks of life. Let's begin with an introduction to prokaryotic and eukaryotic microorganisms. In this section, we will meet prokaryotic versus eukaryotic cells. We'll cover what they are, where they live, and why they matter to us. Then, we'll see their key structures with clean visuals, which will help you build an intuition for how cells are organized. This foundational knowledge makes everything else in biology click into place. Now, let's define a prokaryotic cell. A prokaryotic organism is a single-celled organism with no true nucleus or other membrane-bound organelles. Its genetic material, the DNA, is simply located in a region called the nucleoid, and this DNA is often in a circular shape. These cells are typically much smaller, ranging from 0.1 to 5.0 micrometers, and they have a simpler internal structure. They reproduce asexually through a very efficient process known as binary fission, where one cell splits into two identical copies. Let's look at a typical structure of a prokaryotic cell, like a bacterium. The main components you can see are pili, which are hair-like structures used for attachment, the cytoplasm, the jelly-like fluid inside the cell, ribosomes, the tiny machines that build proteins, the nucleoid, which houses the DNA, the plasma membrane, the cell's protective barrier, a cell wall, and often a capsule for extra structure and protection, and finally a flagellum, a whip-like tail used for movement. To make this concrete, let's look at some familiar prokaryotic examples. First, Escherichia coli or E. coli. This is a common rod-shaped bacterium found in our intestines. It's actually a vital part of our gut flora, but certain strains can cause illness, and it's one of the most widely studied organisms in labs. Next, cyanobacteria. You might know these as blue-green algae. They are incredibly important photosynthetic bacteria that produce a significant amount of the Earth's oxygen. Then we have Streptococcus. This is a genus of pathogenic or disease-causing bacteria. They are spherical in shape, called cocci, and often form chains, like beads on a string. And finally, Archaea, like Halobacterium. These are a whole other domain of life, distinct from bacteria. They are known as extremophiles, thriving in incredibly harsh environments like extremely salty lakes. Now, let's move on to eukaryotic microorganisms, which represent a major leap in cellular complexity. In these cells, the genetic material is neatly enclosed within a double membrane structure called the nucleus. This protects the DNA and allows for more complex genetic regulation. They also contain various membrane-bound organelles like mitochondria and the endoplasmic reticulum, which act like specialized rooms in a factory, each with a specific job. Eukaryotes can be unicellular like yeast or multicellular like us, and they are generally much larger and more structurally complex than prokaryotes. Here is a detailed look at a typical eukaryotic animal cell structure. Key parts include the centrosome, which helps organize cell division, peroxisomes and lysosomes for breaking down waste, ribosomes on the rough endoplasmic reticulum which make proteins, the cell membrane, the nucleus with its nuclear envelope, pores, nucleolus and nucleoplasm, mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, the Golgi apparatus, which packages and ships molecules, and secretory vesicles that transport materials, all suspended within the cytoplasm. This compartmentalization is a key feature of eukaryotic complexity. Now, for some examples of fascinating eukaryotic microbes. First, yeast, specifically Saccharomyces cerevisiae. This is a unicellular fungus, and it's the superstar behind bread rising and beer brewing, as it ferments sugars. Then, algae, like Chlamydomonas. These are photosynthetic organisms often found in fresh water. They are primary producers, forming the base of many aquatic food webs. Next, protozoa, such as amoeba and paramecium. These are motile single-celled organisms that move and hunt for food, showcasing incredible behaviors for a single cell. And finally, molds, like penicillium. These are multicellular fungi that grow as long branching filaments called hyphae. Penicillium, of course, gave us the first antibiotic, penicillin. Let's directly compare them and discuss why this distinction matters so much. First, the key differences. Regarding the nucleus, prokaryotes lack one, while eukaryotes have a true membrane-bound nucleus. For organelles, prokaryotes have no membrane-bound organelles, whereas eukaryotes are defined by them. Their DNA is organized differently. Prokaryotic DNA is a single circular chromosome in the nucleoid, while eukaryotic DNA is organized into multiple linear chromosomes inside the nucleus. And overall, prokaryotes are small and simple, while eukaryotes are large and complex. So, why do we study this? The scientific impact is huge. Understanding cell organization directly guides where we aim antibiotics and how we design medical diagnostics. It powers biotechnology and modern medicine. For instance, the revolutionary gene editing tool CRISPR was originally derived from a bacterial defense system. Studying these cells reveals the deep evolutionary relationships that connect all life on Earth. And it helps us understand disease mechanisms in complex organisms like humans, as many processes start at the cellular level. Let's zoom out for an overview of the 5 key layers that define this cellular complexity. First, compartmentalization. Eukaryotes boost their efficiency by separating different biochemical processes into specific organelles. Think of it as having specialized workshops instead of one open floor. Second, the cytoskeleton. This is an intricate internal network of protein filaments. It provides structural support, enables cell movement, and is crucial for transporting materials and for cell division. Third, genomes. Eukaryotic genomes are much more complex in their organization. While prokaryotes often group related genes into simple units called operons, eukaryotes have genes with introns and exons, allowing for more sophisticated regulation and protein variety. Fourth, cell surfaces. Both have protective layers, but their chemistry differs. Bacterial cell walls are made of peptidoglycan, while plant and fungal cells use cellulose or chitin respectively. And finally, energy production. Prokaryotes generate energy using their plasma membrane, while eukaryotes have dedicated power plants, the mitochondria. Thank you for joining this exploration of the microscopic world of life. We hope this overview has helped clarify the beautiful and fundamental differences between the cells that make up all life on Earth. Keep that curiosity alive, and we'll see you next time.